with the team from East Tennessee State University at the NSPS 2018 student competition. I'm going to begin by asking each team member to introduce themselves.
My name's Baron Hamby.
Matthew Poole.
Jacob Owen.
C.J. Wells.
Stephen Humphreys.
Phil Chipley.
So this was an interesting project, wasn't it? How much were you surprised by what you eventually found out Sunday morning when you're given your final set of instructions and then you went out to the site? What did you have to readjust once you saw the site on Sunday morning?
We had to readjust the overall field computations as far as that goes because the wind, we had to account for that. We also had to account for the terrain when pulling the tape. We had to go in between the bushes or pull over the bushes. We had to adjust multiple things that we wouldn't have to at East Tennessee State during the normal computations or field work that we have to do with in this particular area. It was a big learning curve, but I feel like because of such, we're more adequately prepared for anything that comes in the future.
CJ, can you point to the center of this square that you staked out?
We actually didn't show it on the map because we felt like if we were needed to set an additional benchmark, we would show that. But since it was given, that's the reason we didn't show it.
Yeah, but my point is you had to start at the center because that was the only reference point you were given, right? So what did you do from there? Can you trace your steps, your first 2 or 3 steps?
Yeah, first we started at the benchmark, and we took it with the compass and the tape. We ended up pulling here, and then from there we came here, and then we traversed clockwise around.
And so you used your compass to get to that northeast corner, and used your compass to go down to the southeast corner and so forth. So using compass and tape the whole way through. Did you get some kind of an error of closure when you came back to the point of beginning?
We did. Our linear error of closure was roughly 1 to 3100 and an angular error of closure of north 18 degrees east.
Were you surprised at how well you closed?
I was surprised. We were going to be pleased if we were within 2 feet, and to come out to being, we were 27 hundredths of a foot off on that angle.
So are you going to go back to campus and boast about how good you guys are?
Oh yeah, there's definitely going to be some boasting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have some good reason to boast about how well you did, because that's pretty amazing. I haven't actually tried it myself, but I don't think I would have achieved that. So tell me a little bit about how you did your topographic survey.
For the topographic survey, we pretty much set up a 25-foot grid all around, and then had each person or 2 people stand on one side and the other side, and then paced 25 feet in between and took shots there.
So I think what you're saying is you had human range poles on the boundary, and then you guys paced to estimate the 25 feet, and then you took readings with your level. Is that correct? So did that go pretty fast?
It did go quite fast from what I'm compared to. It didn't go as fast as using an EDM or robotic or GPS, but for what I had expected the time length to be, it went quite fast. Everybody was like a well-oiled machine. I mean, everything went very smoothly once we got rolling, and everything went as I expected.
So were you pretty happy when you left the field that you'd gotten everything done?
Yeah, we actually had went through and checked with each other multiple times to make sure that before we left we had everything finished, because we knew there was no way, we could come back and do it on a later date.
So when you look at the whole project from start to finish, everything that you had to do, the preparation, the actual field work, the office computations, and then the presentation today, what do you think was the most interesting or most challenging part of the whole project?
The most interesting, I think, just finding we're using 2-way radios to communicate, and we're using the site compasses, and we found when we hold the radio close to the site compass, it interfered with the magnets in the compass. So that was very interesting to see how that really affected it.
I have a feeling you'll be passing that on to many people in the surveying profession.
Yes, sir, we will be.
You have anything to talk about that was challenging or interesting?
Challenging as far as the wind was a challenge, and the shrubbery was definitely a challenge for pulling the tape. Other than those two things, I think that was pretty much the two tough parts we had to deal with.
I'd like to add, I think the presentation was the most challenging because we're all pretty comfortable with field work, but not so much comfortable with public speaking. So I think getting through that was a big relief.
I think a very challenging part of it was knowing what to expect with Nevada standards. Up until lunch, we were under the assumption that we needed to provide Nevada standards for this map. It was around lunchtime that our advisor, the representative for the NSPS competition, told us that we did not need to include all these things. I really wish that we have known that beforehand. So, I mean, we've tried to incorporate this into our map with what we've had before lunch, but after lunch, we kind of took a breather and reevaluated this map, and this is our final product, and I think that was a challenging part.
Most challenging or interesting?
I think one really challenging part was the actual lab itself, just having to set 4 corners based on a center point. We're not really used to doing labs like that. They're usually given maybe a couple corners already on the lot and then finding the rest of them.
To me, the most interesting part of this was today's presentations. 12 teams were all given the same task, and I think we probably saw 12 different ways of doing it.
Good answer, good answer. Well, thank you very much for spending your time with us, and good luck on the results.
Thank you.